Holy Martyr Vasiliy was born on the 20th of March in 1876 in the village of Spasskaya of Ruza County of Moscow Province to the family of psalmist Vasiliy Sungurov. After graduating from Volokholamsk Spiritual School, Vasiliy was appointed to the diocesan office and in 1898 was ordained a psalmist to the Church of Nicholas the Miracle Maker in the village of Amelfino of Volokholamsk County. On the 20th of September the same year he was blessed to wear Istikarion. Later by Bishop Parfeni of Mozhaisk, psalmist Vasiliy Sungurov was appointed to the Church of the Icon of the Mother of God, Joy of all who sorrow, of the village of Fedorovskaya of the same county. These years Vasily Arsenievich married Pelageya Alexeyevna. They had 5 daughters and 1 son. In 1910 he began to serve as a psalmist at the Church of Nicholas the Miracle Maker in the village of Zhigalovo of Bogorodsk County, being ordered a deacon to the same church in 1915, while in 1919 he was ordained a priest to the Church of St. Mary Magdalene in the village of Ulitkino of Bogorodsk County. For many years after the closure of the church in 1934, he was a prior of the Church of St. Mary Magdalene. Despite serving in the atmosphere of increasing persecutions, Father Vasiliy was dedicated to the duties of a priest up to the end. It was known that one day intruders set fire to the house of Father Vasiliy during the liturgy, but the priest, having found it out, did not interrupt the divine service and trusted the will of God. Another time a barn near the church was burned. The participants of the cross procession were blamed for this action. Both the priest and his family had to stand the hostility of the fellow villagers who had accepted the atheistic ideology, as well as to face the pressure of the authorities, for whom being a church clerk was equal to being the enemy of a new regime. But the faithful bore their cross with courage and tried to defend the church as long as possible. At last the authorities managed to close the church and leave it to the collective farming bezbozhnik as a barn or a club. In 1935, Father Vasiliy was appointed to serve at Epiphany Church in the village of Brikovo of Istra district. In 1936, he was awarded with a pectoral cross. Father Vasiliy was arrested on the 28th of August in 1937 and was imprisoned in Taganka prison in Moscow. 2 witnesses gave their evidence against the priest. Then Father Vasiliy was questioned. After listening to the false evidence, he denied his guilt in counter-revolutionary activity. We know very little about the life of Father Vasiliy. According to the reminiscences, he was a modest priest at a village church who spent his life serving and doing simple peasants' chores. No books were written about the priest, and there was time when even any talk about him was dangerous. A few memories that we have now were saved by the grandchildren of the priest, who were not even of school age when he was arrested, and there are some photos, the silent witnesses of that long-lost time, that show us people who passed away. People say that Father Vasiliy was strict and self-demanding to others and to himself, and at the same time he was a jack of all trades. After he was arrested, his relatives knew nothing about his fate for a long time, while his faithful spouse, Pelageya, waited for his return up to her death. On the 19th of September 1937, the NKVD Troika sentenced Father Vasiliy to death penalty. Priest Vasiliy Sungurov was executed the following day, on the 20th of September 1937, and buried in the unmarked mass grave on Butov firing range near Moscow. On the 20th of April 2005, Holy Martyr Vasiliy was canonized by the Russian Orthodox Church as the Holy Martyr and Confessor of Russia.